Hi, Scott Livingston here from ReconditioningHQ.com, and we're here at the Athlete Farm, and today my topic of interest is dissociation of the hip, but as it pertains to what I call form closure and form opening. So the idea of form closure is when we stop in an athletic environment, if we're braking and changing directions, what we do is we close the hip, we form close the hip so the pelvis turns towards the femur, and then we push off of this backside hip and drive to go in an opposite direction. This is in effect loading the gun, that big glute complex, and then taking it into some length tension and then having it explode and push away. So we need to be able to close and we need to be able to open. And when we close and open, we want the knee to be over top of the foot. We don't want the knee dragged outwards or caved in. So what typically happens if we don't have form closure, the ability to close the pelvis on the femur, and the femur gets dragged along, what happens to our foot? Our foot ends up being very supinated. So this is the athlete that when they put the brakes on, if they don't have the ability to close, gets into supination, ankle sprain, inversion ankle sprain. Okay? So we want to be able to put the brakes on, close the pelvis, open the pelvis, and explode. So that's form closure. The second part of it is the opening part. So I'm here, can I open the pelvis away from that fixed femur, or when I open, does my knee get dragged along for the ride? I want to be able to close, open and explode, and push from that hip dynamic position, torque through the wrist of the system, but not get the knee dragging into valgus, which creates patellar stress. So the act of being able to close and open is called dissociation, and that's something we want to actively work on with our client to make sure they have it available, both from a mobility perspective and a stability control perspective. That's a little form closure program for you today, ReconditioningHQ.com. Thanks for joining me.